Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we are doing something a smidge different. So in one of my videos I had talked to you guys about possibly doing a day to night without taking my makeup off, just zhuzhing up my makeup I was already wearing earlier in the day and just turning it into something I would wear for hanging out with friends or going on a date. And this is the nighttime look. You guys are about to see what I looked like when I was getting ready for work and what the final look was for that one. But you guys, before we jump into it, if you're new here, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below, hit the bell for notifications of new videos. And if you like this video, make sure to give it a big thumbs up. But if you want to see how I looked before and when I went to work to get to this point, just keep watching. Okay guys, I'm about to get ready for work and I had asked if you guys wanted to see how I do my makeup for work and take it into the evening when I have a date or go out to dinner with Luke or whatnot. So I'm going to start getting ready for work. I have the Natasha Denona I Need a Nude palette on my table right now. I stick with tans and pinks mostly for work, and for those who don't know what I do for work, I know I've talked about it in a couple videos but not all of them. I'm currently active duty military, and I have a video up about the Navy regulations for makeup and hair and all of that. So if you want to see that, definitely go and check that out. But we're going to keep it pretty neutral for work today. The first shade I'm going to go into is Stone. This one I'm going to take into the crease and the outer V. I keep it pretty toned down, but in the evenings, depending on what I have going on, I'll just amp it up a little bit. Not always, not every single time, but it's just, sometimes it's easier to not completely redo your makeup. And if you can do like minor tweaks here and there, changing the color of your lips, smoking out the outer V, those can make a big change, even though it might not feel like it. But some people don't like to wear or can't wear heavy makeup to work, but in the evening you want like nice smoky glam. So it depends on preference. And I'm keeping it kind of toned down, a little on the cool toned side. I'm gonna drop into Tender, just a smidge, just right here, still on my fluffy crease brush. That's the one difference with my makeup for work. I don't use my compacted smudge brush going into work because it's gonna make the shades that much more intense. This is just kind of like a wash of color, and I'm only deepening up a little bit in the outer V just to give a little bit of dimension and shadowing that I'm used to. But even then, like, this is still pretty subdued. It's not everyone's cup of tea, that I do know, but you know, you gotta do what you gotta do. All right, I'm gonna go into the shade Whisper. The rest of these shades are very shimmery, so I can't really use them for work. I do like the satin shade. It is pretty shiny, but it's something that I can get away with. But when it's evening time, there's gonna be some shine and glitter and pops of color. Like, that's just the fun I have outside of those requirements for being in uniform. All right. Now I need to leave here in about the next 20-25 minutes, and I still need to put my uniform on. So I'm going to speed through a lot of this. Any products that I use that I don't necessarily discuss will be linked down below. Starting out with my face primer. I always need a good face primer. This one is the Stila's Secure the Blur, all about the blur. The other thing is I want my makeup to stay and last all throughout the day, knowing that I am going to go out and do stuff. I don't know if that's necessarily the case today. I don't have anything planned, but I wanted to show you guys how I would do it if I had plans. So Dior Forever Skin Glow, love this. It is one of those that waterproof, stays put. I wore this snowboarding in February when I took Luke it's just a really good foundation.
The other thing is you don't need a lot, but if you need to touch up in any areas, it is nice and buildable. And then I tend to stick with cream products for work. They're just so much easier to use and they make the skin look so natural. So Charlotte Tilbury Contour Wand, one of my faves. This is actually a repurchase and it's nice and fresh. I just opened it a couple days ago. The LYS bronzer stick, this is so good. It just like melts into your skin. Natasha Denona High Glam Concealer. Love this. It's so good. No matter what, whether I use a brush or not for my concealer, I still need the sponge to just kind of like feather out the edges. All right, and then the Rare Beauty Liquid Blush. Love this stuff. I have mine in the shade Happy. It's such a pretty shade. I only need 2 dots. And then, of course, the Huda Beauty Easy Bakes, whatever the long name it is, but the setting powder. I'm going to start creating acronyms for long names for beauty products. And this is the Peach Pie one. I love how smooth and like nice my skin looks. This is going to last through work and into the night. Okay, to finish off the eye, very simple. So instead of going into the shade Stone, which was my first shade, I'm just going to go into Tender. This one will be a little bit deeper, but will feather out and be very nice and light underneath the eye.
nice and light, nothing too crazy. And then, of course, with my fluffy crease brush, dip into Tender just for this outer corner and sweep it under. Alright, highlighter, Natasha Denona. This is the Hygiene Skincare Infused. It's nice because you can have it as light as you want it or super intense if you build it and build it and build it. Like, it's just so gleaming if you want it to be. But we're keeping it a little bit toned down. I say that, and when I did my video about military makeup, and not everyone, like, there's a lot of people that don't wear makeup in uniform, and that's their preference. There are still some that are like, that's a lot of makeup, and I'm like, all right, like, but I know I technically need to cover the redness in my skin. Granted, I put some of it back with blush, but it's not the same type of redness. It just depends on what your comfort zone is. For me, I like having my skin nice and smoothed out and not showing all the imperfections. I also look tired, and I sometimes feel tired if I'm not wearing makeup, if that makes sense. Like, for those of you that like to wear makeup all the time, except for like on the weekends when you're like, I can't be bothered, or like you get home from work and immediately want to take your makeup off, because that's me sometimes too. Are you okay with going barefaced to work, or do you feel alive and energized wearing makeup? And for those that are like, where's the beaming highlighter? Like, this is, I keep it fairly toned down for work. All right, we need to do brows, liner, mascara. I'm gonna grab my Charlotte Tilbury Brow Lift. This one's nice because I can just flick it through and be out the door. This pump right here is always the hardest. Just getting it rounded. And not too dramatic. I like to have more bushy brows nowadays. I've looked at some of my videos from when I first started. I was like, oh, that was horrible. Because I would go in pretty heavy-handed. For a long time, I didn't fill my brows in. I didn't do anything with them. And then I was looking and I was like, what is wrong with my brows? Well, because I was using the Anastasia brow pomade and I was just like filling it in so heavily. And now I'm just like, I want them to be nice and like fluffy and look natural. Sometimes they're twins and sometimes they're not. But yeah. Liner for work is going to be the Urban Decay Glide On. I usually keep it one shade in the waterline. Y'all, my allergies are kicking my but I just went in and got my allergy refill for Germany. They gave me 8 months worth. I was like, wow, this is a lot of allergy meds, but I'm gonna need it. They're currently just making my nose run nonstop. All right. I don't even know why I'm trying to freehand this. The littlest baby wing for work. So close to the water line, like to this lash line, just to get the thinnest liquid liner. So thin, so precise. And it is not easy. It takes practice. I'm actually doing really good on time, you guys. I really thought I was going to run out of time with this video, because I don't usually film before work anymore. Alright, and then the Wander Beauty Mile High. This is lengthening and volumizing, but I also like it because my lashes are still flexible enough that if I decide to put another layer of mascara on later, I can do that. And this is just one layer. I'll go in for one more. I can see right here that I got mascara on my cheek. Where is, just take the spoolie on your brow pencil and flick it off. Setting spray, Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless. And then press in whatever didn't dry down. Now for work, I don't necessarily line my lips. I do use a lip gloss, a lip plumper, lip oil, something like that. I have the Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk Big Lip Plump Gasm. I just have the lighter shade in the original Pillow Talk. There is the medium shade. It's too, that one's a little bit too dark for work for me. Okay, you guys, as minimal as this is all set for work, and I will come back later and show you how I'm going to elevate it to go out and have fun with some friends, maybe grab some dinner, but I'll see you guys in a little bit. Okay, you guys, so I just got home from work and running some errands. I had to pick up some groceries and some things for the animals, but like I promised, I am back to do my nighttime upgrade of my makeup, and this has not been touched up, so my makeup still stayed pretty like mattified. There's not a lot of shine coming through, just a little bit right through here, but I'm used to that. And it's what, 3 o'clock right now, so I started my makeup around 7 a.m. feel like that's a pretty good amount of time where it hasn't pushed any oils through my more oily areas. So with minor touch-ups of powder, but we are going to kind of amp everything up a little bit because when I go out with friends or Luke, just depending on what the mood is, sometimes I like to add a bold lip, deepen up the shades, because right now this is pretty muted for me. And like I said, I went to work, so I had to keep it fairly toned down. If you want to see what I wear on a normal basis or why I have to stay in this type of shade range for work, that video on military like makeup and hair is posted, so definitely check that out. But let's go ahead and zhuzh up the eyes a little bit. Back into the Natasha Denona I Need a Nude. So this one, because I do already have my makeup done, I'm going to use my pencil brush from Sigma. This is in E30, and I like to do this because I get more of a precise area, and if I need to smoke it out a little bit more, once I have the edge in the lines where I want it to be, it makes it easier to define. I'm going to hop into the shade Silhouette. It is the deepest shade in this palette. And we're just going to dip in ever so slightly. And right here, I know we already have the eyeliner, we already have the wing, but I don't want to go on the outside of the wing. I just want to kind of smoke this out a little bit. We are going to also touch up the eyeliner, so I'm not super angry if it messes up a little bit or budges, but I'm trying to get more of a defined area. And now that I've kind of gotten the shape that I wanted, to fill it in a little bit better, I'm going to use my compacted smudge brush, and right here, just add it in and brush it forward. So this is what it started out as, and this is where we're at. Just a little bit of smokiness. If you want it deeper, keep building, keep adding. I like to start out gently applying and adding because I don't want it to get too intense to the point that I can't bring it back. But you can see the difference between the different smoky effects. Now, when it comes to the shimmer, before I go ahead and do this eye, I think I'm going to dip into Muse. This one's a little bit deeper, more sparkly and glitzy. This one I'm going to pick up on my middle finger and place on the eye. And because you have the cooler shade Whisper underneath, it just gives that really pretty glittery shine on top of it. Now I'm going to go into the shade Mia. This one is such a beautiful, like wet looking shimmer. I'm going to pick it up on my ring finger. And I'm going to bring it from the inner corner into the center. So we went from this to this. I do have to fix my liner a little bit, just touch it up a smidge because there is some shimmer on it. But if eyeliner is not your thing, you could honestly leave it like this, and that's where we end it. Let me do this eye and I'll come back for the rest of it. One thing I completely forgot about is the under eye. I could keep it that light gray shade, but I do want to kind of zhuzh it up just a little bit. I'm going to go into Silhouette on my small compacted smudge brush and just right here on the outer corner.
So now we have more smokiness. I do need to touch up my eyeliner just a little bit, both liquid and in the waterline. I don't even know why I'm trying to not use my mirror. So earlier I just had like a little tiny wing. I will actually make them a little bit longer at nighttime. Nothing too crazy, it just kind of amplifies it a little bit. And then in the waterline, because even though it is 24/7, it does seem to fade out a little bit, but nothing too crazy. And then the top is fine. Now, even though I'm not like super shiny, I will touch up my powder just a smidge. I don't need a ton of it, but just a little bit in the shiny areas. And then I will also grab it on my brush because I don't need it smashed into my face like in the mornings when I just want everything to be smooth and like just no emotion. But on the brush, I'll just kind of go back over some of those areas to touch them up. And it was pretty warm today, so I like how my makeup held up. I do want to touch up my bronzer, blush, and highlighter, and the highlighter is going to get amplified a little bit. But for bronzer, I'm going to go into my Alamar Hydrating Complexion Trio. Because I've already done creams this morning, I'm going to do powders this evening. Oh, apparently we have a storm coming. That's what Alexa was just trying to tell me. So I mix between these two shades. Just a little bit of bronziness. For blush, and I like to make it a little bit brighter because it's fun. So I have the Patrick Ta Double Take Cream and Powder Blush, and She's Vibrant. This shade is so bright. Look at that. It's gorgeous. So you start with powder, then you use cream. And I am just ever so slightly dipping in because it is an intense shade, and I will start out building it up because the other thing is with the cream on top of it, it amplifies it so much. But I also don't want it to be like too intense that I'm like, oh no, what did I do? The other thing is when I get ready to like go out for dinner or whatever with Luke or friends, a lot of times I will take my hair down if it's just kind of like a relaxing night, but I just kind of like zhuzh my makeup up a little bit. That makeup up. But today I was just kind of like, I don't currently have any like definite plans, and then now if there's like rain coming, I'll probably stay home and hang out with Dixon. But I for sure wanted to show you guys this because I talked about it and asked if you guys wanted to see it, and there were some requests, so a little more brightness and life into the cheeks. Now into the cream. And this I don't dip in too heavy-handed either. So just a little tap, because it's going to give that beautiful like glimmery effect. And this is why the powder doesn't have to be too intense, because the cream on top of it is going to give it some more life as well. And then for highlighter, I grabbed my Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk Multi Glow. This is in the shade Dreamlight. This is the most recent release of this. And this one's more on the gold side when you mix it all together. But this one is just more intense than what I used earlier. But like I said, I also wasn't trying to make that beaming and just in your face type of highlighter. Not for work. Of course, we need to set it with setting spray again. Make sure everything melts into place where it needs to be. And now for the lips. This is when I would go a little bit more bright or intense, and I was thinking dramatic today, so I was gonna do a red lip. I have the Moira Lip Appeal Waterproof Liner in Identity. These don't budge. And I'm like, ooh, I just said I'm not going anywhere tonight. But this, like once I apply it, I need makeup melt to just take it off. It is gonna stay in place. Which I love for a red. I hate when I put a red lipstick on and all of a sudden it's like just bleeding down. Like, that's not cute. Having the hardest time. So this one's higher than this one. I hate lining my lips, but it makes the lipstick stay so much better. And then I have the YSL lipstick in shade RM. Ooh, that is gorgeous. This was sent to me as like a free sample from like Sephora or whatever. It's so pretty. Oh, look at that. Even if the lip liner doesn't look perfect, you put the lipstick on, you blend your lips together, perfection. And it is so creamy, it feels so good on the lips. But you guys, this is the final look with it updated, ready to go out into the evening. just the subdued to this for me is a big difference. And it took me like maybe 5-10 minutes to do this. Talking through with you guys definitely takes longer, but if I come home from work and I'm like, oh, we're going out to do this, and I know what I want to do in my mind, it takes me a very short amount of time to upgrade it or zhuzh it up a little bit compared to what I do for work. So let me know your thoughts. Do you like this? Do you do this as well? Are there other tips and tricks that you know of that you think I would like? Let me know in the comments down below. We'll have that conversation. But you guys, that is it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you're new here, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. Hit the bell for notifications of new videos. If you like this video, make sure you hit a big thumbs up. Until my next video, you guys, bye. I'll see you in the next one.